In this part of the demonstration, we present one of our installation wizards. We start with a general overview of the installation process and show how it is applied to the NPT FactPages. Then we will guide you through the wizard to show how it actually works. Optique 1.0 should be installed on top of relational databases, and the first installation step is to load the metadata of the database into the system. NPT FactPages has 70 tables, about 300 columns, and about 100 foreign keys. The second step is the automatic bootstrapping of direct mappings, which yields an initial ontological vocabulary. From NPT FactPages, we extract about 350 direct mappings, and a vocabulary consisting of 70 classes and about 300 properties. The third step is to saturate the bootstrapped ontological vocabulary with axioms by propagating explicit and implicit constraints from the metadata. From NPT FactPages, we propagate about 200 domain and range restrictions and 10 subclass axioms. After the initial ontology is extracted from the metadata, one can import a pre-existing ontology, a so-called state-of-the-art or SOTA ontology, to obtain a larger integrated ontology. For NPT FactPages, we created an ontology that contains about 200 classes, about 350 properties, and about 1,300 axioms. The integration is done via ontology alignment, and in the bottom left you can see the aligned ontologies. The Optique system supports query answering for AL2QL ontologies only. The bootstrapped ontology is an AL2QL, but the SOTA ontology is not. It can only be expressed in a much richer language. As a result, the aligned ontology is also not an AL2QL. Thus, the next step is to approximate the aligned ontologies in AL2QL. Finally, we have completed the initial installation, which can be adjusted by editing the ontology and the mappings. Let us see how the wizard works in Optique 1.0. This is the main screen of the ontology and direct mapping bootstrapping component. On this screen, we can load metadata. We choose the database whose schema we will exploit to create the ontology and direct mappings. Tables will be directly translated into ontology classes, while columns will be represented as ontology properties with corresponding domain axioms. Note that foreign keys will be translated to object properties with domain and range axioms. Table attributes can be exploited to identify potential subsumption relationships between tables. We now perform the bootstrapping operation, and as a result of the direct mapping bootstrapping, an AL2QL ontology is generated. It contains 12 classes from the 12 tables, 23 object properties from the 23 foreign keys, and 268 data properties, one for each non-foreign key attribute. Note that 2 subclass axioms were also inferred, since all attributes of wellbore overview were included in wellbore development and wellbore exploration. The next step is to integrate the state-of-the-art ontology into the system. The reuse of available state-of-the-art ontologies will be very important to save time and to integrate knowledge that has already been validated by the community. Currently, Optique integrates the ontology alignment system logmap, which has been shown to work well in practice and also includes mapping repair facilities. Note that in our example, the state-of-the-art ontology is not within the AL2QL profile, but in AL2DL. We perform the alignment operation, and this graph represents the integrated ontology via 7 equivalence mappings. For example, this one. They state that the corresponding classes are equivalent. In this small example, the state-of-the-art ontology provides new knowledge about companies. For instance, the subclasses operator and contractor are added. Note that the classes of the state-of-the-art ontology are blue, while the classes of the bootstrapped ontology are green. As mentioned before, the state-of-the-art ontology is outside the AL2QL profile, and thus the integrated ontology is also outside this profile. Since Optique will only deal with AL2QL, we need to provide an AL2QL approximation of the integrated ontology. After the approximation, the ontology is in the AL2QL profile. From the original axioms, one was approximated and one discarded. Some entity declaration axioms have also been added. This is why the approximated ontology contains more axioms than the original ontology. A detailed log of the approximation process is also available. From the ontology and mapping bootstrapping, we obtain as output a set of direct mappings and an Auto-QL direct mapping ontology integrated with a state-of-the-art ontology.